It's gonna do it again. Here we go. Oh my God. Look at this. Wow. Hey, check it out, everyone. This is what we've been waiting for a long time. It's the new Cadillac Lyriq. They're all new electric vehicle. If you're in the market for a luxury EV vehicle, this new Caddy has to be on your list. The front end of this Lyriq has to be one of the highlights of the vehicle. When you have this parked in a parking lot with any other vehicle, this one really stands out. I think they did a great job on it. First of all, there is no grille necessary since this is an EV, and there is no frunk, by the way, in case you're wondering if there's any storage up front here. There's a lot of electronics under there, but we have that beautiful Cadillac badge. It's solid, but this is all lights. This is a light system that they have. It's animated, and when it's nighttime, man, when this is rolling down the road, there's no mistaking this is a Lyriq. On the sides here, these are the vertical jewel headlamps here, and yeah, it's really, really special. Standard, you get 20-inch wheels. On different trims, you get larger ones like the 22-inch wheels we have here. And these are aero wheels. Even though they don't look like it, I like how subtle the styling is. Press down on that Cadillac emblem, you have your level 2 and your level 3 charger. We're gonna talk about charge speeds in a second here, but check out the overall shape. This is kind of like a crossover kind of wagon. It is not a small vehicle by any means. If you look at it, I do like the chrome trim. Normally not a huge fan of chrome, but when it's a black Cadillac, it works really well. Especially the door handles here, they are flush, but they're electronic. You just press it once. It's gonna unlock if it's locked, but it's unlocked right now. And you have a little bit of a handle here to pull. Now these doors are fairly heavy, just to make yourself aware of that. And when we close it, there is no soft close option on this new Caddy though. But overall, I love the shape of this thing. Okay, the back is pretty cool. The shape of this, it's kind of like a shooting brake. We mentioned it's kind of like a wagon, but it's the lighting system. Right from the third brake light up here, you have this kind of like a very angular light here, but the light system, it not only is slim and stylish, but it's illuminated on the rear and the side. It goes all the way up the side, so not only can you see this Lyriq from the back, but also from this side as well. You got these really nice shapes here. I don't think it's overdone at all. Of course, no tailpipes. Now, the Lyriq does come standard with a power liftgate. If you go up to the higher trim levels, you get the hands-free liftgate, which it'll illuminate a Cadillac emblem on the ground, so you just do a little kick, or you can just press that Cadillac badge in the back there. Up it comes. You're greeted with a large hatch back here. You do have power folding. Second row seats, fold those all the way down. Super, super easy. They're only powered down. They are not power up, but still, that's quite handy. You do have a tonneau cover. Lift up the bottom here, and you'll find a very nice attaché. And here you will see is your charger that comes with this, and it has a dual head. So you can actually put your 110 or your 240 plug right there. So if you have a dryer outlet in your garage, you can just plug this in, plug your charger in. You don't even have to buy an extra charger, but we're gonna talk about some super, super fast charging in a second. But this is quite a nice case that they include with the charger. Farther up, there is a little bit of shallow storage. There is no spare tire on this Lyriq. So many words to describe the interior of this new Lyriq, but if I were to only choose one, you know what, there's so many. Spectacular. It really, really is. Now, recently we have tested some real high-end electric vehicles in the luxury space, like the BMW i7. I think that was one of the most spectacular vehicles that I've ever experienced, just for the drive, but the interior cabin. Yeah, you had that big, huge screen. However, that vehicle was about $180,000. We had the Mercedes EQS with that massive hyper screen. Now, where Cadillac comes in here, I think that styling wise, they have nailed it. It is way more subtle than some of those over the top designs and the screens. First of all, screen wise, we have a 33-inch screen. It's very similar of what we've seen on the new Escalade. It's easy to use, actually. It doesn't take long to get used to it. You actually have this dock system, and that's what I like, is you can add things to the lower dock, things that you use more often, maybe the camera, maybe the one pedal drive, which we're going to talk about when we get driving here. On the left side, you can, it's a touch screen on the left side, so you choose your gauges, your driver assistance. But yeah, so fairly easy to use. But the design itself, we have real wood, you have real metal everywhere. I love the colors, the materials, all this diamond knurling that you see on all the knobs. Even the toggles on the steering wheel have this knurling on it. Even the vents and the controllers for the vents are very, very elegant. And you have this blue motif. We open up, there's a kind of a tray in the center, and it has this really high-end blue. It reminds me of a Rolls Royce that we drove at one time. And you have that blue in the center tray here. Middle console, you get the diamond knurling around the cup holders even, and there is your volume knob. You have a volume also on the steering wheel, and you have your controllers. So this controls what's on the screen. Also, you can use touchscreen as well. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard on this. This one is equipped with the optional Napa leather seats, so full leather seats in this. It's an extra about $4,000 and some odd dollars for that option. We have heated and ventilated seats. We have a massaging lumbar feature. This massive, massive panel roof. It does have a sunshade on it. It doesn't open, but that's par for the course. Back seats. We've had the kids in here, even with the dog. I make them hold them anyways, but back seats, no complaints whatsoever. The kids really like it. One thing I'd mentioned when we're outside, the doors are quite heavy. So it's actually quite hard for them to open up the door. If you're on any type of incline, it's even tougher. Yeah, for a regular person, no problem. This also has the 19-speaker AKG audio system. Sounds great. It's not over the top, but yeah, we're not paying a lot of money. We're gonna get to price in a second. That's the best part. So let's get started driving and enjoy this interior while we drive. Ooh, just whisked away. This is what a Cadillac should feel like and always has felt like. Something that's just really smooth. It's just kind of part of you. It's nothing jarring. So this is built off of GM's new EV Ultium platform. It has a pretty substantial size lithium battery, 102 kilowatt hours. So there are two configurations. You have rear wheel drive, which will give you 340 horsepower, or if you go all wheel drive, that's what we have here, you get 500 horsepower. And range wise, now this is pretty crazy, 494 and 495. There's only a 1 kilometer difference of range between the all-wheel drive and the rear-wheel drive. So not much of a penalty at all to have more traction and more power. Push that throttle. Now you'll hear there's a little bit of an electric sound. You can control that and change it in your drive modes. There are several different drive modes on here. Another advantage of getting the all-wheel drive though is if you want to tow. The rear-wheel drive has no tow rating. However, the all-wheel drive has a 3,500 pound tow rating. So that's pretty decent here. You can go to my modes and customize what you want your drive experience to be like. You can set your steering, your braking, the sound that we were talking about. You cannot adjust the suspension though. This does not have electronic controlled suspension, but I think they did a good job tuning the suspension. It has those frequency damping shocks, and yeah, it's not floaty, boaty like the old Cadillacs of days. I've owned a couple Cadillacs, and I didn't mind those, but one thing to be aware of, compared to those old ones especially, the steering on this is quite heavy. Even in the light setting, or if you're in, let's just say regular normal setting, it's not the easiest, lightest steering wheel. A lot of people will like that because sometimes it's too light. This is also equipped with several different Regen styles. First of all, this has one pedal and one paddle drive. I'm gonna call it one paddle, which is Regen on demand. So right now we're driving like a car right now. We're on the highway, and if I let off the throttle, There's a little bit of resistance for regen, but otherwise we're kind of coasting. If I want to slow down, I can use my brake, or my left paddle, it's basically use it as a brake. And what's nice is that it's very, very progressive or very variable. A lot of other vehicles that have a paddle for regen, it's either on or off. This one, let's just speed up here, and I'm just going to just ever so slightly pull on it just a little bit, and it's going to only slow me down as much as I pull on it. If I want to really have max regen, I can go gradually, or I can hit it completely, and you can really feel those brakes really come on, but that's the regen happening. And by the way, the brake lights do come on when you use that paddle. Also, you can do one pedal driving. I have it set on my dock right now. One pedal, I just hit it. Okay, I can feel it. It just really slowed us down. You have to put a little bit more input for your throttle, but now I'm just going to let off as we approach a vehicle. No problem. I'm not using the brakes at all. You have a lot of options. Not only do you have one pedal driving, you can set the strength of the braking on that as well, or you can just turn it off. And sometimes I like one pedal driving in certain instances, especially when there's a lot of speed bumps. I like one pedal driving. It's easy to navigate speed bumps. But on the highway, I like to actually coast a little bit. You know, it's like I can predict the traffic up ahead and just relax. And you don't have to have as much throttle input when you have no one pedal driving. So if that makes sense. And that applies to all EVs. Charge-wise, you have a standard 11.5 kilowatt onboard charger, but there's also an optional, get this, 19.2 kilowatt onboard charger. Now there is additional cost to that, and you will have to have an electrical panel that's capable of putting out that much power. But if you do get that, you can actually put 82 kilometers or 52 miles of range into your vehicle per hour. That's the fastest level 2 charging that I've ever seen. If you want to go for DC fast charging, you can go up to 190 kilowatts, and that's plenty fast. You know what? There's some vehicles like our Ioniq that they're capable of 350 kilowatts, but try to find a charger that can do that type of speed. And you know, everything also has to be in line for you to get that type of speed. This also has preconditioning, so if you are using DC fast charging, you want to precondition it so it can accept the fastest charge as quick as possible. You can do that with this vehicle as well. So the overall experience driving this Lyriq, well, it's a Cadillac, and that's, you know, that's good. True and true, this is a Cadillac. The experience, we're going over some bumpy roads right now. There's a lot of isolation of all the harsh environment outside. There's not a lot of noise in the cabin here at all. Acceleration wise, it's not neck snapping acceleration that you would find in some other EVs, but you know what? You don't need that. It's still quicker than most vehicles out there that aren't electric though. We're doing 110 kilometers an hour. If I put my foot into it, we're just in regular mode right now. If I put my foot into it, that is plenty quick, and it's just really gradual. It's not gonna make your passengers sick at all. Now, speaking of cruise, this Lyriq is equipped with Super Cruise. You can see the green light here. That's their semi-autonomous system. We've done a full review on that before. I've said it before, if your commute involves a lot of highway driving, a lot of rush hour, stop and go stuff, this feature is worth it so much. Now, it's only gonna work on certain highways, but they've mapped millions of miles of highways, yeah, it's just hands-free, stress-free for driving on the highway, just like this. And there's even auto lane change that you can turn on or off right now. I have it on, but I guess if there's an opening, it will change lanes and pass a vehicle. Let's just see if we actually set our speed a little higher, 105, and it's gonna sense, okay, oh, it says auto lane change. It's checking. Okay, I didn't even initiate the signal. It automatically changed lanes by itself. Turn the signal on, turn it off, because there was a slower vehicle. It's gonna do it again. It's gonna do it again. Here we go. Oh my God, look at this. Wow, that's cool. That's pretty cool. That's the first time I've ever had a fully automated lane change. in a vehicle. Okay, let's just go back down to slower, so I don't want to auto lane change anymore. There is HOV lane over there, but I do not have the sticker. But yeah, it's great. What a great system. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why this Lyriq should be on the top of your list if you're in the market for a premium EV. And I haven't even talked about one of the most important things is the price. Now, the rear-wheel drive Lyriq starts at just under 70,000 Canadian dollars, and I think that's pretty impressive. That puts it in line with like vehicles like the Tesla Model Y or the Mustang Mach-E. And you know what? Neither of those cars, there's nothing wrong with them, but neither of them give you the type of premium experience that you're going to get with this Cadillac for sure. If you want to option it out like with all-wheel drive, if you go into the higher trims like the Luxury 3 or Sport 3, where you're going to get the Super Cruise, option out with the Napa leather seats that we have here, it's going to run you just over 90,000 Canadian dollars, and still I think that's a relative bargain. Remember, we're not talking about a grocery getter here, we're talking about a Cadillac. And you know, we mentioned the i7 that recently I drove, or the Mercedes EQS. Those were spectacular vehicles in their own rights. However, price, they're literally twice the price of what this vehicle is, sometimes even more. Yet this isn't only half as good as what they are, or they're not twice as good as this vehicle by any means at all. You know, it's actually, the difference isn't that much in experience-wise for your comfort and materials for sure. So I think it's a pretty good deal. So we waited a long time to drive this vehicle. Was the wait worth it? Absolutely. This Lyriq did not disappoint. This is a true Cadillac. I think they've done a great job, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Cadillac and General Motors does for their electric vehicles from this point on. I think they've got a great start here for sure. You might be wondering, what kind of sorcery is this? This isn't the interior of the Lyriq we were just in. You're right. This is the new Nissan Ariya, which is the upcoming video. But why are we doing this update? Well, we've returned the Lyriq, and I've discovered something. In my initial email, when I booked this vehicle, it showed that it was a black all-wheel drive Lyriq. However, upon returning it, I found out from the fleet manager that it wasn't. It was just a base model rear-wheel drive with 22-inch wheels, which makes some of the things that I said kind of incorrect, just because I was assuming it was a higher trim level all-wheel drive. But that also shows how good of a value and how well equipped the base model is. So for that base model, yes, it doesn't have 500 horsepower, it has 340 horsepower. It still felt very responsive. It was really smooth. It was all what you actually really need, as long as you don't need all-wheel drive. It still had pretty well the same range, almost 500 kilometers of range. You got the standard light system, you got a 33-inch display. You also got heated and ventilated seats. They weren't even Napa leather in there at all. You got the rear camera washer, 360 camera, even the Super Cruise, all for the magic price. It started at $67,698. We added on the black and the 22-inch rims, and after destination fees, it came out to $72,683, which is a far cry from the $90,000 plus that I was actually saying. That's what the Luxury 3 or the higher all-wheel drive package was. And so yeah, it's even more impressive of a deal when you look at that. So basically 70 grand for all of that you saw. So like I said earlier, this really has to be on the top of your list if you're in the market for a premium or luxury EV, SUV, or crossover. So that's our little update. Hope you enjoyed our video. Make sure to like and subscribe. See ya.